At what point are you responsible for your own actions? I mean, I'm seriously asking this question because it seems to me like so many people are willing to blame somebody else for inciting someone to do something. Now, look, I think that there is a certain point of, holding someone responsible for riling up a crowd, and that crowd goes out and kills somebody or sets fire to something. And I think that there's a certain amount of blame that should be shared by talk show hosts who get the people all, fired up to go out, and especially if any violence is committed. However, it's the person who commits the violence who makes the choice to do it, regardless of who tells them to do it. I was taught as a young child that using the excuse that the devil made me do it is not a good excuse. That's simply because you're tempted to do something because somebody says, hey, why don't you go ahead and do such and such? You're still the one who makes the choice to do it or not to do it. And in this particular case, what I'm talking about is the lawsuit that's proceeding against not just Donald Trump, but against the man who actually assaulted somebody at one of Trump's rallies last year during the campaign. I don't know if you remember the situation. The guy actually just went up and punched some woman in the face because Donald Trump was saying to get the protesters out of there. And now, I think that an awful lot can be said, once again, for holding people responsible for the things that they say, if what they say can honestly be said to be encouraging violence. I think that a certain amount of accountability ought to be there. But to remove accountability from the people who did the violence and turn it back and point at the man who said, go do this, you're giving people too much power. You really are. Another person shouldn't have that much power over your life. The power of suggestion. I want you to go and do something. No. Use your brain, people. Think about it. Weigh it. Do you still have the capability of judging right and wrong? I understand some people don't. And if their God tells them to go and do something, they don't consider whether it's right or wrong, especially if their God is a politician or some other government entity. This is something that I think is problematic. This is the kind of thing that got us into problems in North Korea and in the Soviet Union and in Nazi Germany and in the Holy Roman Empire and in Rome itself and in Egypt. I mean, when you have a pharaoh whose very words are the words of God, then we have a problem. And I think that's part of, personally, I think that's part of what we're looking at here. I may be wrong. Engage me on the subject. Send me an email, steve@radiofreespeech.com.